I never thought I'd be the guy standing at the altar, heart pounding not from joy, but from a storm of betrayal. My name's Tom Blackwell, 36 years old, born and raised in the bustling streets of Seattle, where the rain never stops and coffee shops are like second homes. Just a few months back, I was head over heels for Sophia Reynolds, the woman who'd turned my world into something out of a rom-com. We met at the Fremont Solstice Fair, that wild summer event where artists parade naked on bikes and the air smells like street food and freedom. She was sketching the chaos from a park bench, her dark curls catching the sun, and when our eyes locked, it was like the Puget Sound waves crashed right into my chest. From that day, our love story unfolded like a Pacific Northwest dream. We hiked the trails of Mount Rainier, sharing thermoses of hot cocoa and secrets under evergreen canopies. She'd write me notes on napkins from our favorite diner in Capitol Hill, slipping them into my jacket pocket with a wink. Sophia was everything. Fierce intelligence that sparked late-night debates over craft beer, a laugh that echoed like wind chimes, and a touch that made me feel like I could conquer the world. Our first kiss happened during a ferry ride to Bainbridge Island, the city skyline fading as fireworks lit up the sky from some distant festival. It sealed us, turning stolen moments into a committed whirlwind. We built dreams together, road trips down the Oregon coast, a cozy cabin in the Cascades for weekends away, even talks of starting a family someday. I proposed on a foggy morning atop Snoqualmie Pass, the mist swirling around us like a veil. Kneeling on the damp earth, I pulled out a simple emerald ring, her birthstone, and she said yes with tears streaming, pulling me into an embrace that tasted like salt air and forever. Wedding plans kicked off in high gear, a ceremony at a winery in Woodinville, her dress fittings in downtown boutiques, tastings of local Pinot Noirs that left us giggling and planning our honeymoon in Hawaii. But cracks started showing about a month before the big day. Sophia, always the vibrant artist, buried herself in her studio more, her smiles fading into something forced. Our pillow talks turned to silence, and I'd catch her staring at her phone with a distant look. I chalked it up to pre-wedding jitters, the stress of seating charts and floral arrangements weighing on her creative spirit. Then one evening, as she stepped out for groceries, her laptop pinged with a message that shattered everything. From Ryan. Can't wait for tonight. Your touch is all I think about. My heart slammed against my ribs. I dimmed the screen just as she returned, arms full of bags, leaning in for a kiss that now felt like ice. Ryan? The name didn't ring a bell in our circle. I needed answers, so I called my buddy Marcus, a gallery owner in Belltown who knew everyone in Seattle's art scene. He texted back quick. Ryan Harper, tall guy with messy blonde hair, runs a graphic design shop in Pioneer Square. Spotted him cozy with Sophia at the opening of that abstract exhibit last week, their hands brushing like it was no accident. That fueled the fire. I asked Marcus to keep an eye out, and sure enough, photos came through. Them at the gallery, his arm around her waist under those dim lights, laughing like old lovers. I couldn't let it slide, but I played it cool, swallowing the hurt like bitter coffee. Sophia came home that night, humming a tune from our first date, claiming she'd been at a portfolio review with a colleague. Her voice had that same honeyed lilt she used when reciting poetry on our late-night walks along Alki Beach, but now it rang hollow. I needed proof, not just suspicions, so I turned to my sister Lauren, who'd done private security work before settling into tech. She was discreet, sharp, and owed me a favor after I'd helped her move into her Queen Anne condo last fall. I fed Lauren the story Sophia spun the next day, a meeting with her friend Jenna about bridesmaid dresses. Lauren tailed her from our Belltown loft. Instead of heading to the boutique, Sophia's car wound through the city to a sleek studio in Pioneer Square, Ryan's place. Lauren's photos were surgical, time-stamped shots of Sophia slipping inside, staying for 2 hours, and leaving with a flushed smile. The next week, Sophia swore she was at the winery for a final venue walkthrough. Lauren followed again. Same studio, same lingering goodbye, this time with a kiss that wasn't just friendly. Each lie stacked like driftwood on a fire I couldn't douse. At home, Sophia would curl up beside me on our leather couch, her fingers sketching hearts on my arm like nothing had changed. I'd nod along, my jaw tight, while she rambled about table settings or her mom's flight from Portland. Then, one night by the fireplace, I couldn't hold it in. I tilted my phone toward her, playing Lauren's video, her silhouette crossing Ryan's threshold, their shadows merging in a too-long embrace. Her face froze, eyes wide like a deer on I-90. "It's not what you think," she stammered, voice cracking. Ryan was an old art school friend, she said, stuck in a creative rut. She was just mentoring him, keeping it secret to avoid stressing me before the wedding. But the late-night texts, the stolen hours, the way her lies wove together like one of her canvases. It wasn't mentorship. It was betrayal. I didn't explode. Instead, I let her think I bought it, nodding as she kissed my cheek and promised transparency. Behind the scenes, I planned. Lauren caught one last piece of evidence the night before the wedding. A text from Ryan, smug and careless, still laughing about your creative block excuse. Meet me at dawn? One last spark. Lauren's footage confirmed it. Sophia in a silk robe, slipping into his studio at 6 a.m., leaving with a kiss that mocked our vows. The wedding day dawned crisp and golden, the Woodinville winery glowing with fairy lights and dahlias. 200 guests filled the rows, their chatter buzzing like summer bees. Sophia floated down the aisle, radiant in ivory lace, her smile a perfect mask. My heart thudded, not with love but resolve. When the officiant asked if I'd take her as my wife, I took a breath and said, "No." Gasps rippled through the crowd. I turned to them, voice steady, and laid it bare. Sophia had been with Ryan hours before, her heart already elsewhere. Marcus, stationed by the projector, played the footage. Sophia and Ryan, their dawn embrace undeniable. Silence swallowed the vineyard. I looked at her, tears pooling in her eyes, and said, "I'm not angry. I'm free." Then I walked away, past the stunned faces, into the cool morning air. The fallout hit like a Seattle storm, fierce and unrelenting. Whispers turned to outright buzz as guests scattered, phones lighting up with texts and calls. My phone blew up too. Mom from Tacoma, frantic and confused. Buddies from the office offering beers and shoulders. Sophia's side painted me as the villain at first, spreading tales of cold feet and commitment issues. But truth has a way of seeping out, especially in a city where everyone's connected through 6 degrees of coffee meetups. Lauren leaked the evidence discreetly, screenshots to key family members, a viral thread on a private Facebook group. Soon, her bridesmaids were ghosting her, her art commissions drying up like the summer drought. She showed up at my loft 3 days later, eyes red-rimmed, clutching a bouquet of wilted wildflowers she'd probably picked from Discovery Park. "Tom, please," she sobbed, collapsing against the doorframe. "It was a mistake. Ryan was just a spark, a stupid escape from the pressure. Our love was real. Remember the nights on the Space Needle watching the city sparkle? The way we'd dance in the kitchen to old vinyl records?" Her voice cracked, and for a split second, I saw the girl I'd fallen for, vulnerable and raw. But the images flashed in my mind, her in his arms, lies stacking like the layers of her wedding cake we never cut. I let her in, poured us both whiskey from the bottle we'd saved for toasts. We sat on the balcony, the sound of ferries honking in the distance. She spilled it all, how Ryan reappeared at a gallery show, flattering her ego when she felt overwhelmed by the wedding machine. "It started innocent," she whispered, "critiquing sketches, then more. I never meant to hurt you." Tears streamed as she reached for my hand, but I pulled back gently. "Soph, you didn't just hurt me. You shattered us." No yelling, just quiet truth. She begged for another chance, promising therapy, transparency, a fresh start. But trust, once broken, is like a cracked mug. It leaks no matter how you patch it. I walked her out, watching her Uber disappear into the rain-slicked streets. Days blurred into weeks. I boxed up her things, sketchbooks filled with our inside jokes, the emerald earrings I'd given her for our anniversary, and donated them to a thrift shop in Fremont. Work at the tech firm kept me grounded. Diving into code was my therapy, debugging problems I could actually fix. Marcus dragged me to art walks, insisting life didn't end at 36. "Dude, Seattle's full of stories waiting to happen," he'd say over IPAs at local breweries. Slowly, renewal crept in. I hit the trails again, solo hikes up Rattlesnake Ridge where the views cleared my head. Joined a pickup basketball league in Green Lake, laughing with strangers who became friends. And then, unexpectedly, romance flickered back to life. It started at a book signing in Elliott Bay Book Company, me browsing thrillers to escape my own drama, her stacking shelves with poetry. Her name was Riley Thompson, 34, with freckles like constellations and a smile that lit up the dim aisles. She caught me fumbling a stack of novels, chuckled, and said, "Need a hand, or are you building a fort?" We talked for hours that night, closing down a nearby cafe with lattes and shared stories. Riley was a librarian by day, aspiring writer by night, with a past heartbreak of her own, a fiancé who'd bailed for a job in LA. No drama, just honest scars. Our first date was simple, kayaking on Lake Union, paddling under the Aurora Bridge as the sun dipped low. She laughed at my terrible jokes, shared her dreams of publishing a novel about second chances. Her touch was gentle, her words thoughtful, reminding me love could be steady, not a wildfire. As months passed, our bond deepened. Picnics in Gasworks Park, where we'd watch kite surfers and talk futures. She met my family at a barbecue in Bellevue, charming them with her quick wit. One evening, under a blanket of stars at a drive-in movie in Marymore Park, she leaned in and whispered, "Tom, you've got a heart that's been through hell, but it's still so open. That's rare." Our kiss tasted like popcorn and possibility, washing away the bitterness. Sophia faded into memory, a lesson, not a regret. I heard through the grapevine she'd moved to Portland, chasing a fresh canvas. Me? I found peace in the everyday. Riley's hand in mine on morning runs, her head on my shoulder during Seahawks games. They say betrayal breaks you, but it can rebuild you stronger. I didn't just lose a love, I discovered a deeper one, with myself, and now with her. Life's horizons stretch wide in the northwest, and mine feels infinite again.